Hello, I hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to take it to the limit. I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about policy limits. So each state has their own set minimum policy limit, and that actually changes because sometimes the legislature changes that. But Texas' current minimum policy limit for an automobile liability policy is 30, 60, 25. So that means that $30,000 per individual bodily injury claim, $60,000 for every bodily injury claim total, and then $25,000 for property damage. So what that means is if there are two people injured, the max available for each person individually is $30,000, assuming that their damages merit that. Or if there happen to be more than two, all that's available for every injured party is $60,000 total. If the driver has the minimum policy limits for the state, which again in Texas are 30, 60, 25. Now, you might ask, Mary, how do I know if the driver has a minimum policy limit? And that's a great question. When you make your demand, or if you hire a personal injury attorney and they make your demand, they make the demand for you, then the adjuster is only required to reveal those policy limits if they either one, make an offer of the policy limits, or two, your personal injury attorney or you, if you choose to do so pro se, file suit, and then through discovery request proof of those policy limits. So some indications that you might look for that could help you, and these are just possibilities, not guarantees, but how do I know if they only have minimum policy limits? Well, if they have a nicer car, like this one right here, this Lamborghini, chances are they're going to have more than minimum policy limits, because what these policy limits do is they protect you, the driver, against being sued by the injured party. So if you have a lot of stuff, like this really expensive car, most likely you're going to have a higher policy limit so that you don't, the injured person can't come in and take your car. Another thing to look at is, were you injured by a state or city-owned vehicle? They have different limits, and you also would have a different type of claim that you would have to make, but depending on the state or city you're in, that's potentially more than that minimum of 30. What you have here, you might be thinking, Mary, ambulance is a state or city vehicle, but actually you see this one right here, it's backwards, but it's owned by Tonka. So that's a privately owned ambulance, so that's just like a commercial vehicle. Which, last but not least, here we've got Jackson Storm's truck. Typically, what you see in commercial policies are up to $1 million. So, thanks for taking it to the limit with me today. Be safe.